Hello friends, I welcome all of you. In this video, I'll show you how to save the configuration in the NVRAM and to the flash or to an external device using TFTP. It is going to be very interesting because I'll actually show you how the config is moved from the device itself over to TFTP and the other way around. So you will also see some of the challenges you may encounter while copying the configuration into TFTP server. So we'll cover those things. Okay, so as you can see that I have logged in into router. So I'll make one change, very basic change. I'll update the host name. I'll make it Ashish-router, and this change is there in the running config. So whatever we are doing or whatever we are changing, first of all, the change is immediate. Okay, it takes into effect immediately the command is entered. Okay, the device will continue to operate as per the change. However, if the device reboots after that, then the changes will be lost, because once the device is rebooted, it picks the configuration file as known as startup configuration file from the NVRAM, that is non-volatile memory. So the process is save the config into startup file which is stored in the NVRAM, right? So that if router reboots, it loads with the last well-known, that is saved configuration. Okay, if you don't save it, then it will be blank next time, right? So if you want to check the running config which is there in the RAM, random access memory, okay, so show running pipe include host name, it is there. Let me check the show startup configuration, show startup configuration pipe include host name. Okay, it doesn't have the change. So now I'll save the config. Command is copy run start or write space memory. It gave me an option that do you want to use this name as the destination file name. I simply entered yes. Now earlier it was saying hostname router, that is a default one. Now I'll rerun the command. You see now the startup config has the a change. Okay, or in other words, you can say our config has been saved, but it was saved in the NVRAM. Okay, and you can also move it to your flash or boot flash or disk, right? So this is a virtualized environment. It doesn't have flash, it has disk 0 and disk 1, the same, it's a memory. Okay, so let me first show you what is there in the disk. Disk 0 has this much of space available and it doesn't have the file, right? So I can copy this file which is the startup config and move it to these many options: boot flash, disk 0, disk 1, flash. So flash is not there, so I'll use disk 0 and hit enter. It tells us that what should be the name of the file. I'll say Ashish config, hit enter. The file got copied. So let's check disk 0, show disk 0, hit enter. Now it has a file. Okay, and if you want to read the file, use the command more space. More is the command to read the content of the file. More disk 0 : type in the file Ashish and then press tab. It will automatically complete the name. Hit enter. Now you see that the config file is there. I can check the config, it's a long file. Alright, you see that. This is the way you can read the content from a file. So this is basically copying the file from this NVRAM over to disk or flash. But what if the router goes down or there is a hardware level failure? Then it cannot be recovered. The best way is that you transfer this file over to different device. Like this is my Windows server. Let me delete this file first. So this is my Windows server. I want to move this Ashish-config file over to this Windows desktop, right? So TFTP is a client, a small software you can download from the internet. So once you go here, search for this one. Let me show you. Search for TFTP download. There are many options there. Like this one is there. I don't know which one I picked up. I chose this github.io website. It has the TFTP 64. 64 means 64-bit. So I clicked on that download page. It gave me so many options. The latest files are of 2019. So I clicked on this one. TFTP setup.exe. The file got downloaded into my download folder. I ran this file and it installed the TFTP application. Okay. So TFTP I have to open up. Okay, this is the by default page which opens up. Let me minimize it. You see that server interfaces. It gives a list of the interfaces which are there on the workstation. So this is the IP address of the Windows workstation, 192.168.100.100, and this one is the loopback 0 interface. This is basically a logical interface just for testing purposes. So we need to select the right interface, okay, because the communication will happen over the IP, Internet Protocol, and this 127 is not routable. Okay. The other reason is that this router has acquired an IP address from DHCP which is of this range. Alright, means the router's IP is 100.57 and this one, where is that? The TFTP IP is 100.100, both are in same VLAN. Even if these were in different VLAN and if we had the correct routing in place, we can reach out to this one, okay? And current directory, it is by default to program files TFTP 64. You may click on the browse and change it to your desktop so that you can see the file once it is copied. So I clicked on the desktop, clicked OK, right? So TFTP is ready. This is the IP address of the interface. Let me try to ping. Okay. See, actually the reachability should be there. It is saying ping is not there. It is not responding. It means there is some issue. Actually, these Windows machines in today's world, these block certain applications, okay, which also includes the ping replies or ping requests sometimes. So there is a Windows firewall already running on this workstation. So that is causing my ping packets to drop, right? So let me do one thing. Let me open CMD command prompt. Okay. And this is the command prompt. And if you want to check out the IP address, ipconfig is the command. It gives me a list of IP address, subnet mask. Just concentrate on this part. 100.100 is the IP address. Let me try to ping the IP of the router. 192.168.100.57. It is pinging. Actually communication is there, but the problem is that there is a Windows local firewall that has blocked my ICMP this request. Okay, so whenever the ICMP packet is reaching to this workstation, it is blocking, but when it generates, that is not blocked. Alright, so you will learn more about this ICMP packets at later stage of this course. Just you can choose to disable this firewall, or there is an option C, allow an app through firewall. Let me open this window once again directly. search here, type in Windows, there is Defender firewall option, click over this one. Yeah, so it says Windows firewall state is on, and here it is on as well. So you can choose to block both of these firewalls, or else you can go into this allow an app or feature through Window Defender and allow that ICMP, okay, which I'll not do because it is not a big issue right now. So let me take you back to the putty. So now I want to copy the file over to TFTP. So I want to show you one error. Command is copy space startup config, and then destination place TFTP. Hit enter. It is saying enter the IP address of the TFTP or the domain name. I'll mention the IP address 192.168.100.100, right? And hit enter. So whatever config is there in this NVRAM, that is startup config, it will get copied over to TFTP desktop, right? You see this one. So let me hit enter. It is verifying the file name should be this one. Okay, let's keep this file name, or let's make it Ashish TFTP. Okay, it is let me see the TFTP to see the status. It is not working. So TFTP doesn't take much time. There is a drop. It means file did not get copied. So we selected the correct directly. We selected the correct directory and right server interface. So what could be the issue? The issue is, again, the app is blocked. Okay, so you search firewall and click on this Windows Defender firewall, click on this allow an app or feature through Windows Defender firewall, and here is a list. So once you go down and see the service with the name T, see TFTP server is unchecked, so it is not allowed. Alright, so let's click on this change settings. You will get into these kind of issues, don't worry. When the time will come to copy the config, this will not work and you will feel disheartened. So where is that? Now I clicked on the change settings. Yeah, TFTP I have to select and click on both private and public. You may choose to disable public because we are communicating within the LAN, within the private network, and we just keep it on for both. Now okay, it is done. So let us try to do it again. Copy startup TFTP. IP of the remote host is 100.100. Destination file I want to make it as Ashish-TFTP. Ashish-TFTP. Let me close this window now. Let me open TFTP before I hit enter. Now I'm going to hit enter. You keep this on this side. See, the file got copied. 600 bytes of file in 0.064 seconds, nearly 1/10 of the second. Okay, less than that, 1/13. So this was the speed. The file got copied. So let us see where is the file. I selected the desktop. The file is this one, Ashish-TFTP. Click on the properties and see it is a normal file. So let me open it with the notepad, add it with notepad++. See, this is the file and this was the host name, Ashish router. Okay, the file got copied. Now let me first do show startup. Let me delete this startup configuration. Command is write erase. Okay, in new systems it will be erase space startup config. So I'm just erasing this startup config. So it is done. So let me verify show startup config. It is not present. The modern routers will have erase question mark start. Yeah, this also has it. So the same thing, show startup, it is not there. So I'll copy the file from TFTP over to startup now. So command will be copy. Now the source will be TFTP. Okay, space startup config. Start, then tab, use shorthand. Address is 192.168.100.100. You see that the moment we allowed the app into the window definer firewall app list, it worked. So I am now doing the other way around. This file I want to copy over to this. So it is asking me to enter the file name. I'll say Ashish-TFTP. Right, so open that TFTP. Make sure that the current directory is desktop and interface is this one. Okay, and now the file name is right, Ashish-TFTP, and destination file name should be startup-config. Fine, that is fine. See, it got copied, right? Okay, so you should believe everything. See, show startup is getting me config. All right. So once the config is not there in the startup config, as known as NVRAM, then it will pick the default one. Okay, so let me show you. Write erase. First of all, this config is saved. Now I am going to delete this one. This startup config, it is deleted. Show startup. Let me rewrite. Show startup. It doesn't have anything. Now I'm going to reload this. So it is going to be reloaded, and okay, so when it will boot, it will not have anything. This one is reloading. Let me start it from here. This is evng. It is booting. Let me change its appearance to make it more background. I preferably do it white. Foreground I make it whatever color you want to do, that is fine. So it is booting. Let's wait. It will have no config because we had deleted that startup config file. Maybe it is stuck, maybe. Okay, it is stuck. Maybe it happens. Okay, it is trying to find out the network config. It will not find it, and it will simply boot with the blank config. So just to show you that whatever I said actually happens accordingly. It is trying to communicate with the TFTP. Anyways, that's fine. So you may wait. It will perform 2-3 attempts. Now it is doing to this one. First it tried broadcast, then it is trying the gateway. Most likely it will not work. Not most likely, it will not work. I know it. So it is whatever it is actually a process. Anyways, let it come up. So what did we do? We made a change in the hostname, a small change. We saved the file using write memory command or copy run start, or yeah, write memory is fine, but in the Nexus it doesn't work. So practice copy run start. Copy space running config space startup, and then we copied the file over to disk 0, and then we copied the file over to TFTP. We can also copy the file from disk 0 over to TFTP. That is fine. You see that now it has booted. It has the old, that is default router name. Okay, so if I do show disk 0, it still has the file. I may use it. Like, let's do it. Copy disk 0 over to startup. Okay, the file name is destination file name this. Copy disk 0, colon Ashish config space startup. Yeah, now this startup config has the file, the latest one, and now what we can do, copy space startup over to running, that is from NVRAM to RAM. You see that now there will be little disruption, okay, because you are copying the file from NVRAM over to RAM. So if there is any routing change, then of course there will be, right? So see, now the RAM has the latest. So thank you so much for your time. Have a nice day.